Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Now I have to wear a different hat. I'm taking over for my buddy who's usually, Pete Meyer, the keynote speaker, and I want to speak about our industry. So, by the way, they're going to cut me off in the right amount of time, so don't worry, I won't babble too long. One of my biggest problems I think we face in this industry is we really don't get any respect. Okay, compared to other industries, we don't get it. Respect comes from what we say, how we dress, what our workplace looks like. There's a whole bunch of things that can give us respect. And sometimes you got to act the part to actually get that respect. Last summer, teaching in Australia, their technicians there get a lot of respect. They're called engineers, believe it or not. Okay, they have a whole engineering thing. If you remember, TST was part of STS, Service Technician Society, which was part of SAE. We were in this room in 2001. After 9/11, we were not allowed to use the research facility from Texaco Chevron. And that was thanks to our friends at Run Right that got us in there in the first place. But anyway, we need to look at ourselves, and we need to look carefully. Years ago, I presented a paper at the SAE Congress called Life After Wrenching. If you guys are not familiar with the SAE Congress, that's where they write a paper and engineers get up there. In fact, I think it's in a couple of weeks in Detroit, but back then it was in March. They get up there and they write a paper. I did one called Life After Wrenching. Because in this industry, where do you really go when you're old and tired like myself and a couple of these young guys here? Where do you go? You could be the service advisor, the service manager, or the dreaded shop owner that you're putting a lot of hours in, right? And when you put all those hours in, it does get very tiring. You probably could have picked a different career that you would have made a hell of a lot more money without all the investment, right? You know, I look at my big Snap-on toolbox, I was telling Don last night, and I look at that thing and I have in hand tools excess of about $130,000+ of tools, and I'm always buying more. That's no diagnostic tools, by the way. That's hand tools. When I died, I could throw my fat ass in that box because that's all it's worth, right? You don't get your money out of it like other things. So when I did that Life After Wrenching, I had some high-profile guys, 12 top people that were technicians, just like all of us. And these technicians, George Menchu, Mark Warren, okay, Ralph Birnbaum. These guys were all top people, and of course, more than that. That's just to name a few. Each and every one of us were a little fortunate. So rather than just moving on to that service advisor, service manager, or shop owner, we were able to be lucky enough, and yes, you heard me say the word lucky enough, because there's a lot of luck in life. Lucky enough to be able to teach or write books or be an editor of a magazine or invent tools, just like George from AES, okay? And the guy, Larry Gouge, who invented the smoke machine. These were all people just like you, turning wrenches, that had an opportunity. The opportunities we have are very, very narrow. Not everyone is going to be able to get to that spot in life, right? So we need to make it good for ourselves. Myself, Pierre, and the rest of the guys like Rich there and Dennis and so on that we discussed before, these TST members, we see that. And we're on our way out of the industry. We're not young anymore. Some of the stuff, a couple of guys came up to me and said, Dave was doing a great job. And a great job that Dave was doing, I go, you know what? I'm a little too old for this. Yeah, I'm going to take that knowledge in, but it's really for the young guys. And look around here. Bald, no hair, gray, right? The older guys come out. They come out. Where's the young people? The only time I've seen a couple of people waving, hey, how the hell are you young people? The only other time I've seen a bunch of young people was out at Auto Mechanica last year. But we need to pull people in the industry, and again, that goes on respect, right? We need to act that part and basically move up. So the consumer sees us, and they want to come out. You have people fighting over stuff. I know last time we did our jersey class, guys were telling me, Oh yeah, this guy's doing work for $30 or $20 an hour, right? Some of you guys were giving me that info. How can you compete? Because they're doing stuff under the table. And how many guys, really have no benefits in the industry? You may have heard some of our round tables at times. Some guys don't get uniforms. Some guys don't get vacations. Some guys don't get pensions, are really, very, very small, right? And if you would have took a different career path, well, maybe you would have done well. Now, one of the guys, he's going to like this. He's going to jump up. One of the smartest guys I know in this business, and I say this to him, it makes his head swell, is John Anello. And the reason why I say that, not because he's a friend. This man looked at this years ago when he had his little white van and he was the Snap-on poster boy. And I said, dude, you need more than a Snap-on brick to fix cars. And he got himself into dealer tools. That guy has really thought about how to make the most out of his business, which you guys need to do. I'm not a management guy. Vin Waterhouse is one of them, or they offered a lot of these courses at Auto Mechanica. You need to update yourself. If we don't update, we will evaporate. And that happens very rapidly nowadays as the vehicles are getting more and more complex. So we need to really take a look at that. As cars are becoming better, they're way better than they were, the frequency of repairs or oil changes, right? They're less frequent. Most shops in the U.S., I was teaching out in Kansas City, at Kansas City Vision out there, most guys tell me business is not what it used to be. Yeah, one minute you're busy, next minute you're dead, but it's not what it used to be. There's less bays in the United States, okay? Less bays should mean everyone should be booming. There should be a line out the door, shouldn't there? But why isn't there? Because things are made better, and we are leasing more and more cars. 17.5 million cars last year, on track for 17.8 this year. What's going to happen? Well, you're going to feel the pinch. So you got to work harder and smarter, right? You need to look for different type of work. The work that comes in our shop is being sucked up. The easy stuff is being sucked up, isn't it? By quick lubes, the big box stores. When you get a car comes in, it's a car that's going to kick your ass. And it's harder to make money on that. And you got to get paid what you're worth, okay? But it's hard to get paid what you're worth and buy all these factory tools and all this other good stuff if you're not charging enough, right? So we need to look at our business and look at the whole thing. You can't afford to buy, a luxurious house or car or boat if you don't make enough money, right? So we need to stay on track with that. So where's the future of this industry? Where do you think it's going? I think it still has a lot in it, and we have a lot to offer. So some young guys that are in this business, if they stay on track, if they put the time in, and how many people put the time in? How many people in here, raise your hand, take at least 10 hours a year of training? 10 hours a year. Okay. Pretty decent, but you can see for yourself, not enough. Do you know what SAE says for one new system on a car? A minimal of 40 hours training there should be for one system. Some guys never took 40 hours in their life. Jamie up here, this guy goes to everything he could go to. He was out at Vision. He's here. You see people all over the place. Comes to classes that I do and other ones as well. Training is what's going to keep you ahead of the curve so you can diagnose and fix cars. We need to read stuff. I'm really appalled that sometimes Motor Age magazine, Motor, Under Hood, okay, all of these magazines, you need to read every single one of them. You know why? Stuff is going to blow right by you. If you don't read, you're not going to get the information you need. I'm sorry? Here. Okay, very good. Okay, so I know I'm preaching to the choir here, and I know that you guys are out here today to learn something, to speak to each other. You know how many people network with people? We've been doing this for years. When you know someone is better at something than yourself, you need to network with that guy, right? And we need to stick together as an industry. No one in here is competition per se. Yeah, the guy may be across the street from you. But you know what? That's good. And we need to be on the same page. You know, not badmouth each other, just like a doctor wouldn't badmouth another doctor. We need to stick together. We need to do it. So, coming out to training, yes, this is time you're taking out of your precious day, and I'm wasting up your minutes of time.